Didn't do very well at all in qualifying, back in 16th in the Mercedes SLS. Although I did find a nice Petronas livery for it, which makes it look pretty cool. But want to see how we could do in this race. Mercedes is a pretty capable car, even if it's not being driven by the most capable of drivers, so it's relatively easy to control, which is nice. So if you are starting out in GT3, I'd recommend either this or maybe something like the Mustang. They both seem very kind of planted onto the road, and they're not quite as twitchy as some of the other vehicles in this class. So yeah, it was enjoyable to drive this Mercedes. So the race started with a rolling start, and obviously trying to get the slipstream up this first straight, ready for the first corner, where we basically took the racing line, and yeah, basically Nev Surrender from Spain decided it'd be fun to shut us around a bit, which is a common theme of this video. Seems to be a lot of people today on this Sunday that are probably ready for some Sunday dinner and probably ought to get off the roads like that guy. So yeah, here we go. So settle into a little bit of a position here, still back in 17th, which isn't great. 18th is a fair way behind, so we can just concentrate. Not sure why Racer Sam just slammed on the brakes there. But yeah, coming up against the Supra, that's a pretty quick car. It's quite difficult to race against. So pretty much bumper to bumper. These turns on Fuji are very technical. There's quite a lot of opportunity for overtake, gaining on somebody, but also for losing time. So it's quite imperative to try and get this line as smooth as possible and nice and tight into the apexes, particularly on that last corner coming up the main straight, where you definitely need the slipstream of somebody, like what we're doing here with the Toyota, pulling out as we move up to the bumper, ready for the inside line on the first corner. Brake slightly earlier to try and make sure we get around it in one piece, which we do. And there we go, we gain a position, which is good. The Porsche in front of Nev, we know is being particularly aggressive on this Sunday morning. So I was a little bit wary of that vehicle. Always kind of check out how people are racing, as I leave the door open there for Nicky, who does a good overtake. Again, that Supra does really well around this track. Might have to give that a whirl. This corner here is a difficult one, very tight, first gear. I just left a little bit too much room there and ended up losing position to Nicky and also Racer Sam, who also snuck through. Entirely my fault. Just trying to be nice and smooth now on these curves towards the final sector of the lap. We're currently on the medium tyre. This is a 12 lap race and you have to use both the medium and the soft tyre. So we're running on medium. Some of the other cars may be on soft, but I think the majority were pretty much on medium, particularly around this group on the grid. And again, using the slipstream to come down the insides, hoping to get that position stuck by the end of this corner. Racer Sam trying to turn in despite knowing I was there. It was a little bit odd. The car was way in front, it was already in position. And get the inside corner for this long sweeping turn. It's quite a difficult one to kind of get the best line through, I find, but I do find that I can make up a bit of time on this one. Car they're getting a penalty. Racing back up now behind the Supra. Oh, as Racer Sam sneaks through the insides. Left him just a little bit too much room there. A lot of nice close racing on this game. I took that corner way too wide. I don't know what I was doing at that point. Obviously had a momentary lapse of concentration. Tried to move into slipstream position again. Bearing in mind I did exactly this last lap. I think Racer Sam got a bit wise to me this time, and I noticed that he started moving right, expecting me to obviously do the same, which is exactly where I wanted to be, on the right hand side, but he kept pushing right, but then eventually did sneak left just a little bit for the racing line, which opened the door for me to come around on the inside and take that position away again. So 14th. Yeah, and then there was a dive through the inside there. This point where I was all over the track, unfortunately my dog jumped on me and decided she wanted a cuddle, so I was a little bit erratic on the steering, so to speak. So apologise to anyone that got caught up in that. It was the dog. She's probably a standard excuse. So we've got another racer bearing down on us now, as we've ended up in 16th out of that lap, thanks to the dog pile I've been part of. So it looks like we got the Mercedes AMG behind. Getting quite close to me now, so I think this is a straight. He's well in the slipstream. Should come past. There are a few people starting to pit by now, which is going to start altering some of the positioning. Again, holding the defensive inside line. Lucky Dad tries to turn in, but doesn't pay off. I've got another car gone off, which means we've gained another position as Racer Sam. And we are being chased quite profusely now by the Mercedes behind. Just trying to find the best line through here to try and pull away a little bit. He must have cut the corner there. I'm not sure if he got a penalty for that. He's also lost some control, so maybe it let him off. But inevitably it did let us pull away just that little bit to relieve some of the pressure. So we've got a little bit of space around us now, which is nice. It's probably the first time all race where we've not been on the attack or the defence, so we can concentrate on the lines, trying to just get some speed up. Somebody reversing down the track there, I don't know what that is about, but again we gain another position. A lot of the times with these races I find you can gain position just by being consistent, being clean, trying to stay out of the way of some of the trouble that happens. Doesn't mean to say you don't get involved in some of the fights and contacts, but stay away from the people who are doing weird things. I don't know whether they're drunk or what, but if you just stay out of some of the trouble you end up with a few extra positions. So we've got a Porsche right behind now, really pushing. In fact, we're in a bit of a Porsche sandwich at this point. Oh, and we get a bit of a trade paint around that corner, but he does get through, and it's a fair overtake. So we're in 12th now. I think that's a result of some of the pit stoppages that people have done. Bear in mind, we've still got a pit stop to undertake in order to make the race requirements. But fortunately, we do have the soft tyre to look forward to, which is always nice. Trying to stay on the tail of the two Porsches as we come around here. Obviously we need a slipstream at the main straight. We do manage to take one position away as Nev obviously lost a fight with Liu. And we end up out of the slipstream actually because we got a good exit on the corner. And again on the inside line, which is exactly where I like to be. Porsche pulls in behind. Rather than try and take it around the outside, get a bit more slipstream. For some reason I did brake really late on that corner, and it was not great. Up into 8th, again, mostly I think because of the amount of cars that have been through the pits. It does spur you on a little bit when you think you've got you know, kind of 3rd or 4th place in sight, even if it's not really, if you know what I mean. So give me a little bit of a boost. Got the other Mercedes coming up behind again for a second attempt at an attack. Fortunately, he's losing a bit of time defending to the car that's behind him, which lets us pull away a little bit. Obviously hoping for a good exit on this next corner. I think we're not going to be in the slipstream of that group just in front from 4th to 7th, as you see going up the straight. So unfortunately we're on power alone. But actually I think this is a lap where we go into the pits, and it is. I think knowing there was no slipstream up there, it was a good time to dive in and get the soft tyre up on the car. Here we go, fantastic pit crew again, never fail. And off we go on a fresh set of soft tyres. The other Mercedes is exactly the same, and we're back behind the Porsche of Nev again. That's where we've come out into the field. So this is our actual position now, 13th. But we are now on a fresh set of tyres, which is nice. So I was hoping to try and get past the Porsche of Nev as soon as possible, but left the door open a little bit there for the Mercedes to come through and ended up losing the position, which was not where I wanted to be. They're probably also on the soft set of tyres. Oh, and yeah, a little bit of nudging here. Not sure if that was me not giving them enough space or vice versa. But anyway, we maintain position, no harm done either way. And back to the racing. Tried to get the slipstream up here again behind the other Mercedes, who for some reason decides to push Nev off the course. So they're in obviously a little bit of a destruction derby mode right now, which was worrying me a little bit. I'm not quite sure why they were doing that, but unfortunately I overbraked and never really found out. Fortunately I do manage to get back on track in pretty much exactly the same place as I was, which meant I didn't lose too much. But if I'd have made that corner, probably would have taken at least one position there. Got the Lexus coming round the outside here. That's looking pretty quick. Right up on the bumper now. Trying to avoid contact there. So we've got the inside line, but the Lexus just comes past us. Getting very busy around now this final sector. Do manage to get the inside line on the Porsche, who overcooks it and goes flying off, back on. But ultimately he loses a bit of time there, and we get out of this last corner with a decent amount of speed. Up the main straight again. Back behind the Porsche of Racer Sam in the slipstream. And my signature move, it seems, pulling out at last minute to go for the inside line, but also not realising that Nev had the same idea, so ended up conceding to somebody with my own method. That might have been the dog again. I did not intend that, so I do apologise. She has a habit of coming and resting her face on my PlayStation controller when I'm driving. So it's looking at this this point like 13th is where we're going to be at. There's 12th and 11th place in front, not too far away. We'll obviously have to see what we can do with the limited amount of circuit time we've got left. But we are a little bit away from them. We're a good second, I think. Go for the main straight. Might just be able to get 12th at this point. Still stuck in the Porsche sandwich as Racer Sam goes off the corner. So took that a little bit too quick, sent him out wide, which gives us an opportunity now to try and snatch 12th place. Looking up the inside, just managed to sneak through, and then he gets a switch back. We're going to get the inside line at this corner, which he manages to keep the position. This is a nice little battle. We're right up close now. Try and get a slipstream coming out of here. Get a pretty good exit on that corner anyway, which is good. Here we go, up the inside again. Seems to be a recurring theme this race. Here we go, around the inside. And we've taken 12th place. Race Sam is coming back with a vengeance. He's right back on my tail. So I'm obviously trying to look towards 11th at this stage, but equally don't want to lose that 12th position. Even though it's not a great position, it's been a hard fought one. Get some good exits with this Mercedes coming around these corners. Compared to some of the other cars, it just looks a lot more planted. Like I say, it's nice and easy to drive, which might mean it's not necessarily the fastest. But if you're using a controller rather than a wheel, it's probably a nice one to get to grips with. And here we go, final piece of straight now, and that's it. We're into 12th position. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please like or subscribe to my channel. Much appreciated. Tend to put these on every now and again, so something to pass a bit of time. Thank you.